Religion is meant to divide us. Modern religion is put in place in order to separate us from the actual truth. The actual truth, which is there is an objective reality. There is one way for ascension, and it's due to sacrifice of pleasure and the various aspects that bind people to the world. Material possession, material want, envy, and of course wrath. Today we're going to talk about what the enemy is, who the enemy truly is, and why that spells out danger for us people on semen retention. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to get right into it. So the enemy in question, right, the enemy that's under discussion is the serpent, right, the cult of the serpent. What the cult of the serpent is a secret society that has many other sects underneath it. The Illuminati worship the serpent. We have the individuals that came about in 2012 that worship the numbers 12, 13, 7, that wore burgundy and spoke to each other in code, that are still operational to this day. We have Freemasons that are also underneath that banner as well of the cult of the serpent. We have various other groups, and without a doubt, a lot of agents of this secret society has snuck into representatives of the various religions around the world. No doubt that there are people that are within the Judaism sect that are of the cult of the serpent, and has guided the individuals that worship Judaism towards those ends and those ambitions. No doubt the same is done with Christianity, the Muslims, and the other religions that are in the world. So the cult of the serpent, why they are bad is because they gratify the things of the flesh. It's about flesh first. They are individuals that preach the whole idea of religion, like their various religions, and they still are interested in physical pleasure. They're still interested in sex. They're still interested in destruction of individual souls and the separation of the masses from knowledge, from real knowledge, from knowledge that could be liberating to the self in terms of economic knowledge, financial knowledge, scholastic knowledge, so on and so forth, the self-knowledge. The cult of the serpent is incredibly dangerous because they lead everyone in the world. And even if you do not directly worship the cult of the serpent and their ways, if you are not placing self-austerity measures within the certain habits of your life, if you're not practicing semen retention as a man, you are indirectly worshiping the cult of the serpent. You see, the individuals of this world, they are very, they worship things of, even when they're not part of that group, the cult of the serpent. But these individuals value possessions. They value cars. They value having real estate. They value having jewelry, gold, in order to increase their wealth on this earth, to subjugate other individuals without that business acumen, without that control, without that knowledge. They do that. That's their only MO in order to obtain some idea of respect. Of course, the cult of the serpent don't care about these things. They only care about domination. That is it. And they utilize individuals with the ambitions to only acquire physical goods indirectly in order to continuously push their agenda subtly amongst the people of the earth. The reason why the cult of the serpent is our mortal enemies is because they are completely against the individuals like us due to what we naturally can achieve without even directly trying to achieve it. Those achievements are control over the self, which means natural galvanization and more morale boost to the individuals around us that are not on the practice. You see, when you are on semen retention, when you are self-controlled, when you are celibate, when you are not allowing your emotions to fall victim to the events of this world, how they normally carry out, people understand that, people that are not worshiping the serpent. And they sort of fall in line. A lot of plans that a lot of the various secret society sects of the cult of the serpent, what they do, of course, economic unity, the creation of a one type currency. And of course, they are trying to keep everyone separate, even though we are in densely populated cities, in order to exercise mass control and have a better heft of manipulation of the minds of the individuals in this world. And you see, when you're on semen retention, we walk through as individuals, of course, granted that we are on the practice for a long time, we walk through environments, we walk through groups of individuals, and we just affect them. You see, the cult of the serpent naturally have no control. They have to consistently build artificial structures, artificial means in order to enact control upon the constituents of this world. That is just the means of the cult of the serpent. It doesn't matter. The racial tensions that are prevalent in this world is another indirect thing that is pushed by the cult of the serpent. Racial tension does not matter. It never did matter. The whole thing is that they are trying to cause separation. They are trying to cause division in order to isolate powers. They've done a very, very good job at separating the various races of the world. Of course, North Korea, South Korea, African-American blacks. We have the Indians that live in North India versus China. We have China, mainland China versus Hong Kong. We have the people in Japan versus the various other Asian groups that they share the island with. They are always sending these individuals against each other, races against each other, in order to distract us from what's truly important, which is complete knowledge of the self and ascension, in order to see the means of the cult of the serpent in our everyday lives. Individuals of this plane, they love sex. Sex is a big thing in this world because it is the complete combination of two energies, and due to the energy exchanged, right? Of course, when the sex is unprotected, it brings birth to a new life, a new child, right? To then live their lives and carry on, and then develop their own various systems, develop their own opinions, right? Based on whatever the prevalent state of political affairs are on the earth. And then they go on and do the same thing. The thing is now sex has been subverted, right? The natural process of sex has been subverted by this cult of the serpent in order to be not be reproductive, but rather recreational. We have sex for fun, and we're onto a whole level where there is just complete licentiousness. There are people that are just having, at least here in the West, there is just a complete liberation and no obstacles to who people sleep with, to who they mix with, who they combine with. They're just simply having sex for pleasure. We even have our experts, people that have gone through college, the extra time in order to be more apt at medical affairs, and yet they push the whole agenda of not saving your semen, masturbation being healthy, and drinking alcohol, which is essentially poison, being healthy as well. These are all methods led by the cult of the serpent. It doesn't matter what they push, as long as it's degenerative to the body, and they sort of separate the individuals from each other to sort of turn their eyes against the cult of the serpent. As long as that is the action that is committed, the cult of the serpent has completed its mission and will continue to rule clandestinely. Now, individuals on semen retention, we're doing extremely well. I'm proud of us all. Anyone that has been on their streaks, that have been celibate and have been controlling themselves. The world does not like us. That is the long, the tall, and the short, because we go against what is being pushed by the cult of the serpent. We are fighting against the serpent. Rather, we are not being controlled by the serpent. We are controlling the serpent. The serpent is representative of the sexual drive. The serpent is representative of that ages-old serpent that was in the book of Genesis that tempted Adam and Eve to commit sin against God. That's the serpent. That is the serpent that we are alluding to. We control that sexual nature because we understand the story metaphorically, and then we use it to live our lives in a very objectively good, benevolent way, no matter how this world treats us. In this modern world, we're going to have I'm sure that you guys have already had your contact with the agents of the cult of the serpent. These individuals that come as either a very, very skinny Albanian woman that has a beautiful face, to a hurly-burly person that practices that is a practicing Muslim and seems to be driven by his idea of peace. They will come to you from every angle. They will attack you from every single side. Me, myself, I have achieved a jovial, very cheerful, entertaining, like a childlike nature to go through this world because I understand the methods of attack. I know exactly what this group is. In 2012, I lost a majority of my friends to one of the sects of the cult of the serpent, the 13 worshipers, the burgundy wearers. This is not some crazy thing that I've made up. This is all due to observation. I am not one to spit about something that's completely magical or nonsensical, right? Because magic exists to some degree here. So we're not going to say that. I am not one to talk about something nonsensical in a completely firm way. These people have hijacked my friend groups in the past, and I've lost many friends. I've gotten a lot of very weird separations and isolations and marginalizations in this world. And it continues to happen because the cult of the serpent is on to the individuals like myself that is pushing semen retention, which is a complete direct fight against the cult. What needs to be done, gentlemen, is you need to stay focused. You need to do your physical exercise. You need to express yourself creatively. You need to understand who your enemy is. Your enemy is not necessarily the individual who brands their blade against you in that perpetual psychological spiritual warfare, which is now the contemporary world. No, it is not only them. They are the individuals that are in your midst, draining your energy, using very, very ancient knowledge in order to manipulate you into getting off of your path. These are individuals that use magic and witchcraft. No matter what religion they claim to be part of, they use these things in order to separate you from your path, because you are objectively ascending, which means you are gaining vision and you're gaining knowledge and you're gaining insight. These individuals will be part of your family members. They will be the system, the governments the various governments that tell you to reproduce, that tell you to have a family, that tell you to be stuck in a mire of debt and just waste your energy sexually in order to bind you to the system to quell yet another threat. This is the cult of the serpent. This is their way. They will never stop unless they are stopped. Gentlemen, we need to understand this. We are on the precipice of a complete change and a complete difference in the trajectory of the cultures of this world. We have more people practicing celibacy than ever before. This community is growing. This community is expanding. We are understanding that this practice is not just for cultivation of the physical self, but yet it is for the increase in vision, in order to spot enemies, in order to spot those enemies, those dark forces in high places, in order to spot the wolves in sheep's clothing that hide around us, trying to drain us of our energy, trying to direct us from real truth. I am a fan of the various religions. I said this already, but I am not a fan of individuals that say that they're religious, but yet their habits are completely different. Of course, I do not judge because I am not a adjudicator. I am not a judge. Yet I am an individual preordained with the Spirit in order to guide and to help you guys and to teach. What we need to do, gentlemen, is stay focused. Do not be affected by the things of the world, and understand where these members and agents of the cult of the serpent lie. They are everywhere. I am 100% certain that some of my family members are part of this cult of the serpent. I am 100% aware that we have some friends that are within my midst as well that are the part of this cult. I believe it 100%. And I'm sure followers of the channel that are genuine and are not agents on another side trying to sort of log my progress in order to find some way to misfire me. Trust me, they're going to be in your midst as well. Closing statement is this: stay focused on the practice of semen retention. Hone your energy. Be able to spot people that are not on your team in your midst. Control your emotions. For the people that are not able to control their emotions, they're the individuals that are indirectly controlled and influenced by the cult of the serpent, whether they believe it or not. And it is not in our duty to try to purposefully enlighten these people at the expense of our mental and spiritual health and level. That's all I have to say to you guys today. Don't ever let this place get you down. The cult of the serpent is incredibly powerful and it's incredibly vast in its reach. They speak multiple languages. They are adept in many, many different types of psychic manipulation, psychological manipulation, and physical prowess. But we will not lose. Good must prevail. Objective good always prevails, because objective good is about the enlightenment and the betterment and the evolution of all souls. We cannot lose. We will fight the good fight, and we will always stay radiant. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!